Hello and welcome. The title of the message today is Faith and Strength. But let's begin by affirming together our opening statement. There is only one presence and one power in my life and the universe, God. I invite you now to just take a deep breath with me, gently but fully filling your lungs, and then exhaling with an audible sigh. Allowing your awareness to move to this present space, right where your feet are, in this present moment, right now, and opening ourselves to Spirit. Divine wisdom and understanding are our inheritance. Thank you, and so it is. So, faith and strength. If you're familiar with the book by Charles Fillmore, The 12 Powers, then you know that faith and strength are two of the divine ideas that are part of our inheritance from God. The model that Charles Fillmore proposes in his book says that there are 12 of them. And my experience of them all is that they interact and they all work together for our spiritual growth when we are vibrating them at their highest level. However, if we're in a consciousness of lack or in error thinking, these same 12 powers will work and they will not be raising us up. Instead, they will be keeping us in this cycle over and over. So the key is being aware of whether we're in our nafsha, separate self, or whether we begin to climb that ladder towards the presence of God, the kingdom, the realm of God, and operate from a harmony of our nafsha self and ruah, the sacred vibration, the breath of life, this breath of the highest vibration and awareness of our I am self. Now, faith and strength are two of the tools that we have to live more and more from this harmony of our ruah, our spirit, our I am, Christ itself, and our nafsha, our divided personality, ego self. And we're not trying to get rid of either. Remember I said a harmony where we are in the flow of life. God is breathing into and through us, and we are acting in this world as an expression of God. Faith, I want to read, and you've heard me read this before, but it's just so spot on and so truly mysterious to our intellectual mind that it needs to be reminded. It needs to be brought to our attention again and again. So I'll read from the letter to the Hebrews, chapter 11 and verse 1, from the George Lamsa translation, from the Aramaic language that Jesus spoke. And here it is. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for. The substance of things hoped for. It doesn't say it's a belief in anything. It says it's the substance of things hoped for, as it was the substance of things which have come to pass. The substance of things that have come to pass. And it is the evidence of things not seen. It is the substance of what we hope for, bringing about into our life. The substance of that which has already happened in our life. It's the evidence of things not seen. Now, what does that mean? Let's just really fast forward into the very last part of verse 3. Things which are seen came to be from those which are not seen. So this faith, it's not seen. It's the substance of those things that are not seen. But that is what's bringing what we see in our life. I want to bring to you, okay, now, before I do that, before I bring this example, I would like to talk about this interaction of faith and strength. Because strength is not our mighty muscle power. Strength is that which gives us the ability to take the guidance that we receive from Spirit, divine wisdom, the will, the decision. So once divine wisdom is given the guidance, our will has decided, yes, this is a part of my spiritual path. The strength is what allows us to bring that into our life. It allows us to put it to practice. That is the strength. So those two work together. And we can't forget about the other two that are involved here. The divine wisdom that has brought this guidance to us, and the will to decide, yes, that's exactly what's going on here. And I'm going to put it to use to my life, and my strength is what's going to help me to hold the course. My strength, my faith, wisdom, will, all working together. And we can extend that model to the other 12 faculties, but let's just be with this for a moment. The things that are going on in my personal life have been not normal. There's change going on here. Especially I'm thinking about things on my day job, my work at the machine shop. We saw the quality manager, who was my direct supervisor, going through a struggle, first of all with a heart attack, and then with cancer. And in this transition, I saw his body become weaker and weaker, and being the person in the quality department who was most likely to be raised to the responsibilities that my manager had, being me, I think it's only normal that my mind begins working through these things, thinking about the future, dwelling. Now here we're going into this error thought, dwelling on what might happen. And this translates into that word, stress. Now I'm telling you things now that I've come to realize later. And as it was happening, I didn't know this is what was going on. My symptoms were, I would go to bed on time or early. I would wake up in the middle of the night, literally, and not be able to fall back to sleep. So it's not exactly insomnia. But here, going through my head now, would be really all kinds of stuff. But many of it, things that are happening at work or could happen at work. So this cycle of error thinking that would not allow me to get back to sleep. Perhaps an hour or two of this before I finally got back to sleep. And then the alarm goes off an hour later and I'm up and going. So how to deal with this? First of all, I didn't know where it was coming from. I just seen it. My wife and I, we talked about it, and well, it could be the time change because things are happening differently and it's got your cycle off. Well, okay, maybe. So we accepted that. But I had an experience while I was in prayer with other ministers. And I knew that that's not what it was. I knew that I was not dealing with this stress that I was putting this cycle of error thought out there by being in that place, that uncertainty, allowing it to trouble me. And the answer that I was given in that moment was the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So when I woke up in the middle of the night, I would begin this prayer. Did it happen the first time that it all went away? No. This is an ongoing cycle of dealing with these stressing thoughts. Because since that moment, my supervisor has passed away, and I have been put into that position as the interim quality manager. But you know what? Sometimes I do wake up in the middle of the night, but it doesn't take me 2 hours to get back to sleep. Sometimes I sleep like a baby all the way through the night. And I attribute it to that divine wisdom of the giving of this prayer that I already knew. The will to decide, yep, that's what I need to do. Resting on the faith. Because how can we have that serenity without resting on that substance? Knowing that God is supporting me, holding up everything in my life. So we have that faith in this prayer. We have the courage to take action, to do that which is ours to do. And the guidance, the wisdom to know the difference. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. The courage to change the things I can. And the wisdom to know the difference. Faith and strength. Strength. Following it through. Ask. We don't have to do it alone. That's our nafsha self. It thinks that it can do it by itself. But we know when we vibrate from this alignment of nafsha with ruah, where ruah is active, that we have help, that we can call on God, and God will give us the answers we need and help us to carry it through into our life. I invite you now to pray with me the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. Thank you.